inyong lahat. Kami ang pangkat-apat na nataas sa magpresenta ng 12 librong nakapag-impluwensya sa ating mundo at ang ikalawang paksa na 7 elemento ng fiction. Ako nga po pala si Anthony Gabriel A. Sister, kasama ko ang aking mga membro na sina
Marjus Ventura. Dito kayo.
Yung ating mo tayo.
Judy Mamas. Gonya.
Ang objective ng lesson na ito is to learn deeply about our world literature and to understand the 12 literary works that have influenced our world and to know the 7 elements of fiction. Pero bago tayo dumako sa 7 elemento ng fiction, halina muna at ating talakayin ang 12 librong nakapag-impluwensya sa ating mundo. Ang unang nakapag-impluwensya sa ating mundo ay ang tinatawag na the Bible or the Sacred Writing. This has become the basis of Christianity originated from Palestine and Greece. Well, alam niyo ba kung ilan ang libro ng Bible?
Oo.
Well, kino-contain lang naman ito ng 39 Old Testament na libro at 27 New Testament. Sa isang libro pa nga lang, hirap na ako paano pa kaya yung 39 to 27 na yan. Ngayon, pangalawang libro naman ang tinatawag nating The Quran or Quran. Ang Quran ay isang Muslim Bible na originated from Arabia. The Quran was revealed by Angel Gabriel to the Prophet Muhammad, to the Prophet named Muhammad. Well, mapapansin nyo dito na, uy, di ba si Angel Gabriel nasa Bible yan? Bakit nasa Muslim Bible din siya? Ibig sabihin, yung Bible saka yung Quran ay may may pagkakahawig or similarities sila. Kaya masasabi ko lang na may pagkakasimilarity sila, pero yung mga pananaw pa rin nila ay may pagkakaiba pa rin in the end. Ngayon, yung Quran are also narratives, some of which center on biblical persons such as Adam, Moses, Jesus, Mary, Noah, and Abraham. Gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, itong mga karakter na ito ay kadalasan makikita natin sila sa tinatawag nating libro, the Bible or the Sacred Writing. At ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa ikatlong libro which is ang The Iliad and the Odyssey na pamumunuan ni Marjus Ventura.
The Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer. These two epics are the source of myths and legends of Greece. The Iliad described the Trojan War and the fall of Troy. The Odyssey described the voyage of Odysseus on his way back from the Trojan War. The Iliad and the Odyssey, Achilles, Diomedes, Odysseus, Agamemnon, Helen of Troy, God and Calidus. The Mahabharata, one of the two major Sanskrit of ancient India in Hinduism. The Mahabharata attributed to Baisa, center of the power struggle between cousins, the Pandavas and Kauravas in the Kurukshetra War. It is the longest epic poem ever written, with over 1,000 slokas or 200 verse lines, totaling about 1.8 million words, far surpassing the length of the Iliad and the Odyssey, Ramayana combined. Okay na, pre!
Gaya nga ng sinabi ni Marjus kanina, ang Iliad and the Odyssey ay ginawa ni Homer. Ito ay dalawang epiko na ang sources ay myths and legend of Greece. Sa palagay ko hindi na kayo mahihirapan pang intindihin ng topic na ito dahil alam ko familiar na kayo sa tinatawag nating myths and legend. Ano nga ulit yung myths sa inyo?
Hindi makatotohanan ng
mga kwento. Parang fiction, kumbaga. Tapos yung legend naman is yung parang isang
Pacquiao.
Oo, ayun. Pero pwede Pacquiao. Sunod. The Iliad describes the Trojan War, which is yung the fall of Troy. Tapos yung the Odyssey naman, dinidescribe ang voyages and Odysseus on his way back from the Trojan War. At dito natin makikita sina Achilles, Diomedes, or Diomedes, Odysseus, Agamemnon, Helen of Troy, ang pinakamagandang si Helen, at ang gods and goddesses. Ang mga taong ito ay karaniwan nating makikita sa mga myths o yung mga fiction na istorya o palabas. Ngayon naman ng Mahabharata, gaya ng sinabi ni Marjus kanina, ito ay one of the two major Sanskrit epics of ancient India in Hinduism. The author of this Mahabharata is Vyasa 18 Parvas. Babasahin niyo pa lang yung title na ito, malalaman niyo na kaagad kung kung mahaba ito. Kasi sa title pa lang niya nandito na agad yung keyword na mahaba siya kasi mahaba rata. Okay lang yan. Kahit cringe. Okay na yan. Okay naman. Ang ikalimang libro which is yung The Canterbury Tales na pamumunuan ni
2,000 years later.
Dumako na tayo sa ikalima na literary na nakapag-implement sa buong mundo. Ang ikalima ay ang Canterbury Tales. It depicts the religion and customs of English in early days. This originated from England and is written by Geoffrey Chaucer. 24 Tales is equals to fragment. Geoffrey Chaucer Canterbury Tales is a seminal work that offers insight into the religious and cultural landscape of early English society. Comprising 24 stories written in Middle English between 1387 and 14,000, it provides a vivid depiction of era's customs and beliefs, making a significant influence on literature and cultural understanding. Ang Canterbury Tales ay ginawa ni Geoffrey Chaucer na hindi, cut natin yun. Sinabi ni Chaucer dito na Chaucer did not complete the full plan for his book. The return journey from Canterbury is not included, and some of the pilgrims do not tell stories. Ang Canterbury ay binubuo ng 24 stories. Dito po sa part na to, hindi ko na po ipapalaro kasi masyado pong mahaba at marami. Medyo komplikado na rin. Okay na yun. At sa huli, inilagay ni Chaucer sa retraction niya, not all tales are complete. Several contains their own prologue and epilogue. Dumapo naman tayo sa ika-6. Ang ika-6 ay ang Uncle Tom's Cabin, written by Harriet Beecher Stowe of US. This depicted the sad fate of slaves and became the basis of democracy. He also influenced the world by portraying the tragic plight of slaves. On March 20 of 1852, Uncle Tom's Cabin was officially published. In Uncle Tom's Cabin, Stowe comes to the conclusion that if laws are unjust, men and women must obey their conscience and do the right thing even if it is against the law. Uncle Tom's Cabin tells the story of Uncle Tom, an enslaved person depicted as saintly and dignified, noble and steadfast in his beliefs. The cruel irony in Uncle Tom's Cabin is that the main character earnestly prayed to be reunited with his family, only to get killed by his heartless master. Tom becomes a Christ figure, inspiring others to convert. At dyan na po natatapos ang aking pag-uulat. Dumapo naman tayo sa ika-7 na pamamunuan ni Jamaw As.
The Divine Comedy. The poem discusses the state of the soul after death and presents an image of divine justice meted out as a dual punishment or reward and describe Dante's travels through hell, purgatory, and heaven. The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri has significantly influenced the world by portraying Italian costumes and religion, exploring the afterlife and depicting divine justice through Dante's journey through hell, purgatory, and heaven. In its 14,233 lines that are divided into 3 cantiche, singular cantica, Inferno, Hell, Purgatorio, Purgatory, and Paradiso, Paradise, each consisting of 33 cantos, Italian plural canti. The Divine Comedy. Inferno, where sinners being punished for their sins. Purgatorio, where souls are purified before ascending to heaven. Paradiso, where he encounters the celestial realm and experiences the divine glory, reaching the ultimate goal of union with God. El Cid Campeador. The Cid Campeador offers a glimpse into Spanish culture and history as it follows El Cid's journey of redemption after being banished, showcasing themes of honor, loyalty, and perseverance. El Cid Campeador was a Spanish nobleman and military leader who lived during the 11th century. His real name was Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar.
At ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa ikasyam na libro, ang The Song of Roland, na pamumunuan ni Maria Bagalay.
The Song of Roland is a seminal medieval epic poem from around 2100 depicting Charlemagne's battles against Muslims in Spain. It showcased themes of Muslim royalty and religious conflict, influencing subsequent literature and embodying the chivalric code of the time. The Song of Roland, one of the earliest examples of the old French song of days, the earliest extant poem of substitution based on a Chanson de Geste. It's considered as the national epic poem in France. It is said to be based on historical event during the time of Charlemagne, the king of the Franks, from AD 1168. The Song of Roland is a medieval epic poem around 2000 written in Old French. It narrates the story of Count Roland, a brave knight. Under the Charlemagnes, the king of the Franks, the poem is set during Charlemagne's campaign against the Muslims in Spain. Roland is appointed to guard the rear of the armies and subject to the fieriness, however, is subject to significantly larger Muslim force at the Battle of Pas.
Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa pang-10 libro, ang The Book of the Dead na pamumunuan ni Christian Agonia.
The Book of the Dead, this includes the cult of Orisis and mythology and theology of Egypt. This Book of the Dead, an ancient Egyptian funerary text dating back to the New Kingdom era, profoundly influenced the world with its depiction of the afterlife, rituals, and surrounding death. It symbolized the journey of the soul after death, offering insight into ancient Egyptian beliefs and practices, and its influence extends behind its cultural origins, inspiring various literary and artistic works throughout history. Re, also known as Ra, is the son of God. The purpose was to help the deceased to navigate challenge and ultimately achieve rebirth and renewal by uniting with gods like Re and Orisis. Re, also known as Ra, is the son of God, and ancient Egyptian mythology symbolized creation, light and life in the context of the Book of the Dead. Re represents the eternal cycle of light and death and rebirth. Orisis is a central figure associated with the afterlife and resurrection. He is the key deity in ancient Egyptian mythology known as God of the underworld, death, and rebirth. Ang The Book of the Dead ay isang modernong termino upang ilarawan ang sinaunang ritual ng mga Egyptian instruction and incantation o mga tagubilin. Ang mga ito ay tumutulong sa namatay na mahanap ang kanilang daan patungo sa kabilang buhay.
Ngayon ay dumako naman tayo sa ika-11 ng libro na naka-impluwensya sa ating mundo, which is ang The Book of the Days na pamumunuan ni Maria Bagalay.
The Book of the Days encompasses the cult of Osiris, Egyptian mythology and theology, capturing timeless images from the papyrus of Ani and Zodiac sign to the temple of Isis. It serves a permanent record of significant life events like birthdays, engagement, weddings, graduation, and more influencing readers with historical and cultural significance. Guys, nandito ako. The Book of the Days ay isang tala na sumasakla sa kulto ni Osiris, ang mitolohiya at teolohiya ng Epipto na nalalaman ito ng mga tanyag na imahe mula sa Papyrus Ani at mga tanda ng Zodiac. Mula sa mga templo ni Isis, ang aklat na ito ay naglilibot bilang isang pangmatagalang paalala ng mga mahalagang pangyayari sa buhay ng isang tao at sa buhay ng mga mahal sa iyo. Maaaring gamitin ito upang may patala ang mga kaarawan, mga papakasal, mga pagtatapos at iba pang mahalagang ito sa buhay at lumilikha ng permanente at pinahalagang mga alaala. Ang aklat, wait lang. Hindi ba ako, sabi ko wait lang.
Hindi ka ba nag-start?
Mag-start na ako. The Book of the Days ay isa sa pinakamahalagang pinagmumulan sa may pag-unawa ng pasyentista na malalim na nakaka-apekto sa sibilisasyon na silangang Asya sa mahigit 2 milenyo. Ang pasyonismo ay hindi lamang isang filosofiya kundi pati na rin sa isang pamumuhay na nagbibigay din sa etika, edukasyon, humanismo, nagbibigay aklat ng isang komprehensibo at detalyadong ulat kung paano inisip ang ganitong uri ng pamumuhay sa praktika.
Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa ika-12 libro at ang pinakahuli na librong nakapag-impluwensya sa ating mundo, which is ang 1001 Nights or Arabian Nights na pamumunuan ni Mayrich de Aziz.
Arabian Nights. This is from Arabia and Persia, Iran. It shows the way of the government of industries and societies of Arabia and Persia. 1001 Nights is a collection of Middle Eastern folk tales compiled in Arabic during the Islamic Golden Age. 1001 Nights ay isang koleksyon ng mga kwentong bayan sa gitnang silangan na pinagsama-sama sa wikang Arabic noong Islamic Golden Age. Ito ay madalas nakilala sa Ingles bilang Arabian Nights mula sa unang edisyon sa wikang Ingles na ginawa ang pamagat bilang The Arabian Nights Entertainment.
Ngayong tapos na tayo sa 12 fiction tanginan yan. Ngayong tapos na tayo sa 12 literary works na nakapag-impluwensya sa ating mundo, ngayon dumako naman tayo sa 7 elemento ng fiction na pangungunahan ko. Pero bago ang lahat, halina muna't ating alalahanin kung ano nga ba ang tinatawag na fiction. Sa palagay ko at panigurado ako na hindi na kayo mahihirapang intindihin itong topic na ito dahil alam kong itinuro na ito noong elementarya pa lamang pati na rin ng high school, maging hanggang ngayon pa naman. At kung aalalahanin natin, ang fiction ay isang uri ng mga storya na ginamitan ng mga malilikhaing pag-iisip upang makabuo ng isang kwento o storya. Yun lang. At ang unang elemento ng fiction ay ang character. Ito ay ang isa sa pinaka-importante sa paggawa ng isang storya o paggawa ng palabas. Dahil kung wala ito, walang buhay o walang magbibigay ng buhay sa palabas o kwentong iyong ginagawa. Gaya nga rito, characters are essential players in a story, ranging from human to animals or even objects, driving the plot through their decision. Typically, there are main characters, antagonists, and side characters, each with distinct appearance, personalities, and motivation, crucial for advancing the narrative. Ang character ay binubuo ng konseptong tatlo. Ang una ay ang main character or protagonist, pangalawa ay ang antagonist, at pangatlo ang side character. Ang halimbawa ng main character ay halimbawa ang Batman. Si Batman ang main character, ang protagonist, at ang kalaban niya or antagonist dito ay si Joker, at ang side character naman dito ay si Robin. Yan. Ngayon, natapos na tayo sa ikaunang elemento, which is ang character. Ngayon ay dumako naman tayo sa ikalawang elemento na ang plot. Na pamumunuan ni
Element 2 plot. Element 2 plot. The plot encompasses the events unfolding within the story, including major turning points experienced by the character. It typically follows a structure of exposition, rising action, and resolution, with each segment contributing to the narrative development.
Karagdagan sa element 2, which is ang plot, ito rin ay isa sa may mahalagang elemento sa paggawa ng storya o sa paggawa ng mga pelikula or movie. Dahil ang plot ito ay ang kabuuan, structure ng paggawa ng pelikula o storya. Nararapat lamang na magkaroon ito ng exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. Ngayon ay dumako naman tayo sa ikatlong elemento, which is ang setting na pamumunuan ni Mayrich de Aziz na nasa aking likod kasalukuyan.
Setting is the word where the story unfolds, ranging from the country macro level, climbing to micro level details like rooms, time of day, and weather. It can carry symbolic meaning like the eternal winter in Narnia representing tyranny. Setting encompass both time and place from a single night to an entire lifetime, utilizing sensory description and it's the setting, bringing it vividly to life for the reader. Sa madaling salita po, ang tagpuan ay isang oras at lugar kung saan nangyari ang isang kwento. Ito ay maaaring isang actual na yugto ng panahon at geographical na lokasyon na lokasyon o isang hindi pamilyar na oras sa isang katang-isip na mundo. Bilang karagdagan, maaaring kabilang sa tagpuan ng tanawin, klima, panahon, lipunan at kultura. Ang mga setting ng pantasya at science fiction ay maaari din may mga panuntunan na mahika at agham.
Maraming salamat sa impormasyong iyong ipinabatid sa amin, Marich de Asis. Ngayon ay dumako naman tayo sa ika-4 na elemento na which is ang team.
Element 4, team. Team encompasses the philosophical question according to story of...
Teka lang, 1, 2, 3, go!
Element 4, team. Team encompasses the philosophical question explored in the story often revealed through the lesson to the protagonist learns of the core conflicts they face. For instance, Proxton explores the theme that scientists should create being without considering consequence, exemplified through the conflict between Dr. Proxton and his creation. Ang tema sa katangis ay isang pangunahing elemento na nagsisilbing nakatanong mensahe, pangunahing ideya na pinahayag sa ang kwento. Ito ay sumasalamin sa komentaryo ng manunulat tungkol sa buhay, lipunan, kalikasan ng tao o sa mundo. At kadalasan ito ang nabibigay ng lalim at kahulugan sa kwento. Hindi tulad ng balangkas ng nagdedetalye sa mga tiyak na pangyayari sa kwento. Ang tema ay patungkol sa mas malawak na mensahe ng kwento, maaaring bigyang kahulugan at i-apply ng mga mababasa sa kanilang sariling buhay o sa lipunan sa pangkalahatan. Halimbawa, To Kill Mockingbird. Isa sa mga prominenteng tema ay ang hindi pagkakantay-pantay sa layo na tinatalakay sa pamamagitan ng litis kay taong magusan at ang mga karanasan ng pamilya. Ang nahating layo sa team. Isang tema ay ang pagkawala ng inosente na nakikita sa pamamagitan ng mga mata ng bata. Protagonista ni Scott. Mahalaga ang tema dahil nagbibigay sila ng mas malalim na layer ng kahulugan sa isang kwento na nagpapahintulot sa mga babasa. Makakonekta dito sa isang personal na antas at makilahok sa kritika na mapag-isip tungkol sa mga paksang tinatalakay.
At ngayon, tapos na tayo sa ika-4 na elemento, ang tema. Ngayon ay dumako naman tayo sa ika-5 elemento, ang point of view, na pangungunahan ni...
Element 5, point of view. Point of view refers to the perspective from which a story is not narrated, include first person I. Second person is you. Limited third person from one character viewpoint. And omission, third person from all seeing perspective. The choice of POV is closely linked to the story form and structure, determining how the narrative unfolds and how readers engage with the characters and events. First person, ang first person ay narrative ay yung bida na naghahatid ng kanilang mga karanasan o isang peripheral na karakter na nagsasabi ng kanilang kwento ng bida. Second person is yung mambabasa o reader. Third person, narrator, inuugnay ang kilos ng mga tauhan sa pamamagitan ng pagbanggit ng kanilang mga pangalan.
Tapos naman tayo sa ika-5 elemento, which is ang point of view or FOV. Ngayon naman ay dumako na tayo sa ika-6 na elemento, which is ang conflict, na pamumunuan ni Pablo, Mr. Davido.
Paundo nga ako pala.
Okay, sige. 1, 2, 3, go.
Dumako na tayo sa
Pare!
Ay. Dumako naman tayo sa element 6, conflict. Conflict is the obstacle that blocks the protagonist from reaching their objectives, essential in every fiction narrative to drive the plot forward. It can range from minor hurdles like delayed bus to catastrophic events like a natural disaster. There are 7 types of conflict: character versus character, society.
One, two, three, go!
There are 7 types of conflict: character versus character, self, society, fate, nature, and technology. Context adds intrigue to the story, ensuring it remains engaging by presenting meaningful challenges for the character to overcome. Lumapa na tayo sa 7 types of conflict. Ang una ay character versus character. This conflict occurs when 2 characters hold opposing views to each other. In other words, both are having beefs to each other. Ito po yung example ko. Sana makita mo. Ayun na. At andito, si King Arthur, protagonist. Dito naman yung kalaban niya, antagonist. Yun lang. Dumapo naman tayo sa kalawa, ang character versus self, which is, this conflict occurs when the character is having a self-doubt, self-realization, or struggle within the mind of the character. For example, in the movie Rapunzel experiences the character versus self. She cannot decide if she wants to stay in the tower or defy for her mother wishes and leave the tower. Oh, ayun o. Kita mo yun, pinaghirapan mo yan.
Okay.
Yung pangalan naman ay ang character versus fate. A conflict in literature where the character go against prediction or fortune from God, oracle, or supernatural entity. For example, my prophecy said I was destined to die today, but I go against it and managed to get away from death. Sa susunod naman, character versus society. Of course, when one or more characters rebels against the expected behaviors or codified structures of the society. For example, rebellion against family, going against social norms, governing bodies, doing racism, criticizing religious beliefs, environmental issues, and many more. Papo naman tayo sa character versus nature. A conflict where a character must face things beyond their control and the natural world around them. For example, storm, wild and dangerous animal, disease or plague, weather, or a natural disaster. Ang example ko po ay earthquake, volcanic eruption pala. Tapos dito naman yung earthquake, then landslide at tsunami. Ang ikali naman ay ang character versus technology. This conflict explores the problems that arise when technology grows beyond its intended use. For example, yung movie ko na The Terminator and The Matrix. Doon na po natapos ang aking paghulat at tumapunta sa ikapitong elemento na pamumunuan ni Element 7. Tone is the author's tools or style for evoking emotion in the readers, closely tied to the intended feeling of the story, whether aiming for fear, amusement, thoughtfulness, or dread tone aligned with the genre, such as thriller-evoking suspense, or a romantic comedy aiming for humor even within a genre. Stories can vary tones scenes by scenes, balancing light serious moments for nuance emotional experience. Ang tone po ay yung background music ng isang movies or mga teleserye na nagbibigay ng buhay sa mga palabas. Halimbawa, ang horror, nagbibigay sila ng mga nakakatakot na boses or nakakatakot na tunog para magbigay ng excitement sa mga taong nanonood.
Ngayong tapos na tayo sa lahat ng elemento at na-presenta naman nila ito ng maayos at may halimbawang dala-dala. Ngayon naman ay i-recap natin. Ang unang elemento ay ang unang elemento sa fiction ay ang character, narration or point of view, plot, setting or time and place, theme or tema, style and tone. Maraming salamat at doon na nagtatapos ang aming presentasyon ngayong araw.